Hi, this is Paul at School Bus Talk. At School Bus Talk, we talk about everything having to do with school buses, focusing on safety to promote learning. So on this episode of School Bus Talk, I'm going to do part two to a real popular video that I did on two-way communication on school buses, tips and hints. I'll put the link to the video as a tag in the upper right-hand corner. As I said, this is a sequel, and it comes because I've got a number of viewer comments that I've received on the first video, and based on those comments, I have learned that a lot of the training that goes on for school bus drivers is focused on how to defensive driving, how to drive the bus, how to inspect the bus, and student management. It seems that there's really little to no instruction on a critical tool that we use on the school bus, which is the two-way radio. The two-way radio is an excellent communication device, and I find there's many school bus drivers that don't really know how to use it properly.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm sure having fun.
In my first two-way radio video that I did, I talked about the issue of using plain language versus 10 codes. And in my opinion, plain language is the best way to go, and don't use 10 codes. Now, there are some exceptions, and there's a fair amount of two-way radio jargon, a lot of two-way radio jargon. But in my opinion, you really shouldn't use jargon, but there are a few exceptions. The two-way radio jargon comes from a citizens band radio or CB radio pop culture craze that happened in the 1970s. There was a smash hit movie called Smokey and the Bandit. It starred Burt Reynolds and Jackie Gleason and had Sally Fields. And this movie featured a lot of CB radio jargon.
What's your 20? About 16 miles this side of Mississippi.
Whoa, hold it.
I just passed another Kojak with a Kodak. This place is crawling with bears. Where the hell are you? Come back. I'm still trying to get rid of that Texas County Mountie. I don't know what the hell he wants. You know what he wants. I mean, how would you like to be the dude that handcuffs a legend?
It's a super funny movie, and if you have a chance and you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Some school bus drivers use a fair amount of CB radio jargon, and it can get a little extreme. Breaker, breaker, good buddy. This is Route Double Deuce going by the handle, the mustard machine, driving the kitty car on the PM flip-flop drop. I'm reading you 5x5. Mercy sakes. I got a kidlet needing a 10100. Can you give a holler to the campus narc at the schoolhouse? I'd like to wrap up this ride and go to the stack of bricks. Break. This is Route 22. I'm driving the school bus on the afternoon drop-off. I can hear you loud and clear on the radio. I have a student that needs a bathroom break. Can you give a call to the campus supervisor at the school site? I'd like to finish up this route and head for home. Now that's an exaggeration, but in general, you should avoid CB radio jargon and 10 codes, but there is some phrases and radio jargon that you do need to know. The first radio jargon is a 10 code, and it's 10-4. 10-4 means yes. It can also mean I agree. A lot of times you say 10-4 thank you. They go together. The second one that you'll hear a lot is copy. Copy simply means I heard you, and a lot of times you'll say copy, and then to be clear about the communication, you'll repeat what the other person on the radio, the message they're trying to send you. The other radio jargon that's used a lot is got your ears on. So you'll hear somebody in either a station or a unit call somebody, and if they don't repeat it, you'll say, Unit 5, got your ears on? That just is asking whether they're listening to their radio. Radio check is another bit of radio jargon. A radio check just is checking in to see if anybody can hear your transmissions. Many times it's radio check. Sometimes it's just abbreviated to check. Base bus 12, check.
Yes, sir, your last clear.
10-4, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
ETA means estimated time of arrival, and it's used a lot on the two-way radio, especially when dispatch is trying to find out when a bus will arrive at a target location. Now, I've heard some school bus drivers get really carried away and try to be super exact about what their ETA is, and they'll say something like ETA 3 minutes 35 seconds. I don't do it that way. The E in ETA means estimate. So the way I do it when being asked for an estimate to a target location, if I'm close and I'm really inbound, I'll just say 1 minute, regardless if I'm 20 seconds away or 50 seconds away or 60 seconds away. I just say 1 minute. I then use 5-minute increments on my ETA. So the next thing I'll say is less than 5 minutes. Or next I'll say 5 to 10 minutes.
I'll be 5-10 minutes.
Or 10 to 15 minutes, and so on. The last two-way radio tip on this episode comes from a YouTube viewer that commented on my last two-way radio tips and hints video. DJ Biv 788 commented that under my topic, be concise, he made an excellent hint and said, if I can't say it in 5 seconds, it doesn't need to be said, unless there's an emergency. A big thanks to DJ Biv 788 for this comment. I totally agree. I think it's a great two-way radio hint. If you can't say it in 5 seconds and be concise, then you should probably just pull over your bus to the side of the road and try to call on your cell phone. That wraps up this episode of School Bus Talk. Please make comments if you have any thoughts or tips and hints on two-way radio communication in the school bus. Remember, safety is essential.